Good morning. We are here, the final day of the Impact and Income Bootcamp. How exciting is this? I'm going to wait a few moments for people to join on here live. As you get here, please put your name in the chat box so I know who's here with me on this final day of the bootcamp. We have so much goodness coming into this session today. We've got a grand prize giveaway. We are going to bake the recipe we've been making for the last 5 days together, and we are going to talk about next steps and where to go from here. So I am thrilled about being here this morning. Rolitza, good morning. Kathleen, good morning. Susanna, good morning. So nice to see all of you. We've got 8 people on here live already, and it's only 9:01. Loving this. Christy, good morning. Good to have you here. So today, if you're here in BC, it's a long weekend starting tomorrow. It's a sunny day, and we are at the end of our Income and Impact Bootcamp. And I don't know about you, but I kind of have the sense that it's like this, we've all been on this really fun night out dancing for the week. And this is the last song, and it's kind of bittersweet. It's the last song, but we've had so much fun, so much juice that we really want to just dance our hearts out today. And that's what I'm committed to do with all of you, is to really just bring it and dance my heart out and give you everything I've got on this last day to really bake this recipe, bake this cake that we've been making with all of these different ingredients, and really create today a new energetic blueprint for you so that you can show up in your business as the soulful CEO you are. You've done so much great work this week. Good morning, all of you that are coming in here. Cherise, Helen, Ankita, Michelle, Monica, so good to see all of you. I am going to just talk a little bit about just how impressed I am and how so many of you have been playing full out in this container. But before I get into that, yesterday I got carried away and I was too excited and I forgot to announce what the daily prize giveaway was. And it was the best one so far, in my opinion. They've all been pretty, actually, I shouldn't say that. They're all very different. But this one is an offer of mine called Reset Day. And Reset Day is a half-day online experience that I offer every quarter for soulful entrepreneurs to come and do their 90-day planning for their business. And it's very much similar in a lot of ways to what we've been doing here. It's just a little bit of a deeper dive because we've got more time, more of an immersion in one time together. So the winner for that yesterday was Ankita. So congratulations, Ankita, on winning July's Reset Day. I will send you all the details about that so you can be there in July. And if anyone is interested in joining, all the details around Reset Day are on my website, so you can go check them out there. All right, seeing a few more people. Sharon, good morning. Sharon, if you've got the worksheets for everybody, you can throw those in the chat box. The link to that in the chat box. You should have got them in your email today as well. And Adia, so good to have you here as well today. Okay, so as I started saying, yeah, look at this. Okay, so this is part of it, right? So Rolitza's in the chat box celebrating Ankita for winning the prize yesterday. I go into the Facebook group last night, and there's people connecting with one another, inquiring about services, which this is not about, but that just happens when you show up and start offering your gifts and just authentically sharing what you do. You attract people into your orbit. You attract people into doing, wanting to work with you. And so I'm seeing all of these conversations happen, and this is the power of a container like this. And so I just want to shout out and take a moment to acknowledge some of the people that have just really been showing up, like 10 out of 10. And these are just the people that I can see, right? They're the ones who are showing up on the live calls daily, that are doing the homework, that are having conversations in the Facebook group. And I know so many more of you are showing up and watching the replays and doing the work. What I will say is that this work to really create a thriving business out of your soul work, it does not have to be hard, but you do have to show up in action. So I just want to take a minute to shout out Michelle, Rolitza, Cherise, Monica, Susanna, Helen, Ankita, Christy, Shannon, Aaron, Maria, Kathleen. Yesterday, when I was doing the grand prize draw giveaway, which we're going to get to at the end of today, I actually didn't think about how much work it was going to be because I don't know. I just didn't think I would be writing 8 slips with people's name, 8 for each person, because people were playing so full out. So it actually turned into a lot bigger of a project than I thought it was going to, but I was happy about it because it means that people were actually engaging in this. So know that this group is going to stay open, and we are going to be able to connect with one another in here until May 28th. So May 28th, I'm going to close this pop-out group down. So make sure that you connect with whoever you want to connect with in here. Share your wins. I just saw Susanna share that after our session yesterday, I'm going to post this on, because you can put a little overlay, and this is just so good. After our session yesterday, I had a potential new project come my way, felt so aligned. This is what happens when you get into energetic alignment with your goals. I'm not shitting you. This is like the way the universe works, is when we show up. Susanna's been showing up on these calls. She's got like 8 ballots in our grand prize draw giveaway. That is co-conspiring with the universe. So, and that is the power of combining soul and strategy, right? We're not just wishful thinking. We're showing up in alignment. We've got the soul alignment, but then we also have the strategy to back that up. So excited for you, Susanna. That's amazing. Okay, so let's just hear in the chat box to get us all in this place together and just get us ready for what we're going to be doing today, which is creating that new energetic blueprint to play full out, whatever it is that you've decided to claim and name for your 90-day goals. So I want to hear from you in the chat box. If you're watching this live with me now, if you're watching it as a replay, please put it in there as a replay. I'm going through all of the comments. I'm here for you, championing you. So put it in there. And I want to see what you say to this statement. I'm committed to creating blank over the next 90 days because blank. So this is the goal, the values-driven goal, and your deeper desire. I'm committed to creating blank over the next 90 days because of blank. Let's see what comes in. And as those are coming in, I'm going to just start recapping the last 4 days that we've had together. And I'm going to share with you one key takeaway, maybe sometimes two, because I maybe couldn't have done just one. One key takeaway from each day that if you really hang on to this piece, it'll be the anchor for you to come back to the teachings and the learnings from that day. So feel free to capture these in the notes section of your worksheets as we go through. And I'm going to start with the first day. So the first day was all about naming and claiming that revenue goal, the annual revenue goal. And we looked at how, when you reverse engineer your business model, so you start with claiming and naming that goal, you can see how a business model is actually very possible to create the revenue goal that you want to create. So no matter where you go from here, and you can come back to this practice over and over again, every 90 days, come back to looking at that revenue goal and then working your way backwards, looking at all the different revenue streams of how you can make that a reality. So remember, it's about the reverse engineering part of it that makes that practice so powerful. The second day, we talked about pricing and positioning your soul work offers and how worth is not coupled to your work. The biggest inner work you can do when it comes to this is investing in yourself to really take the time, energy, and attention to work through your limiting beliefs when it comes to your money stories, when it comes to pricing. Because unless you're that energetic match for your pricing, no matter what the sticker price is, it's not going to feel aligned. So do the work on the inner level to do that, and then also invest your time, energy, and resources in doing the outer work to get to know your ideal client. It is the most generous thing you can do for them, is to really understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and package and position your offers to meet or solve a problem for them. Remember, we talked about vitamins versus painkillers on that day. The third day, we talked about becoming an energetic match for your goals, and you got to meet your future self. And remember, the key takeaway from that day was she's not waiting for you out there one day, someday. She is you. You can access her, embody her right now. And how would you show up differently if you were doing that? My guess would be very differently. And it was a very powerful exercise. Maria would watch the replay, and I looked at her comments in the chat, but in the discussion forum, and she's like, I really like my future self. I love that. I love that comment, because that is really owning our soul gifts, because that future self isn't out there. She is us. Okay, and then finally, yesterday we talked about 90-day goals, and that was the day that we really grounded some of this work into what do you need to do over the next 90 days in terms of specific, measurable, chunk down actions to bring some of these bigger picture vision pieces to life. So the key takeaway around that was that you want to look at this from a deeper desire perspective, making sure you understand your why behind the goal, and it's not just an end goal, but it's a a values-driven goal. And then be in action around that, even if you don't know where to start. I loved seeing all of your comments in the discussion forum yesterday around your next steps. They were so clear, so tangible, so actionable. And many of you, Monica, I looked at yours and you were like, when? Immediately. When? Tonight. Like, they were in action. And that is when we really show up and we really send a message to the universe that we are ready for what it is that we say that we want. So my intention over these last 5 days was to really give you everything I had within the small time frame we had to set you up with a toolkit to create more income and impact in your business. So I'm going to read some of the comments that are coming in right now around what you're committed to over the next 90 days. So Monica, I'm committed to creating a thriving, balanced business over the next 90 days for my family. That's the why. Oh, that's so good. That talk about something to get you out of bed in the morning. I'm committed, Michelle, to creating a soulful strategy over the next 90 days because I'm willing to do the work. Oh, that's beautiful. And Keita, I'm committed to creating a strong foundation for intentional money. I love your why over the next 90 days because of my renewed clarity and groundedness to create income and impact. Beautiful. Susanna, I'm committed to outlining and sticking to some structure around my business and making time to work on my own business. Beautiful. Helen, I'm committed to create trust and flow for the next 90 days for my coaching business. So good. Trust and flow. And Relitza, I'm committed to creating an MDR offering in the next 90 days because this is my calling and I am worthy and capable and the only one on earth that's able to create it as it's meant to be. Talk about your soul work, your unique selling proposition. We talked about that on day one. Christy, I'm committed to creating a new Soulful Jet Accelerator group over the next 90 days because there's people waiting and asking for the program. Yes, this is the thing. People are out there. When we hold ourselves back from sharing our soul gifts with the world, we're being in disservice of the people who are waiting for a gift, who are sitting there and hoping and wishing that an offer like yours is going to come in front of them so you can help them. So it is about, I love this. People are ready and waiting for me to put this out. Cherise, I'm committed to creating my 90-day strategy and plan because I feel called to bring my soul work coaching business to serve others and their purpose and their passion. Yes, it's that deep inner fire, right? When we feel that fire, we have to follow the breadcrumbs. And I'm not sure who this is because I can't see your name, but I'm committed to creating a business that allows me to explore different avenues of photography because it will allow me to do what I love every day. Yes. So being committed to knowing that you can make money through your soul work, right? That's what this has been all about, is to prove to yourself that your soul work, you can create both impact through it and income. We are dancing hard right now. This is good. This feels so energizing. And so we're going to get into a very powerful practice next, and it's an embodiment practice, which if you remember back to the first day, embodiment practices are all around using our mind-body connection and using the wisdom of our body. It's also called somatic practice to really help us gain insight and create new energetic blueprints. So somatic work is so powerful. I really love breath work for this reason. We don't have to, our mind can often trick us, right? Our mind is tricky, but our body never lies. So when we can tune in and start to begin to trust our intuition, start to trust the feelings, the contractions and the expansions, and follow the breadcrumbs of joy, we can get into greater alignment. So today's practice is an embodiment practice, and this practice is best done. It's a rating scale practice, and this practice is best done if you can actually stand up and move around. If you don't have the ability to do that right now, absolutely okay. We can totally improvise, but you will want to kind of drop into this as well. So if you're watching this as on the replay, it's like turn off all the other distractions. If you're watching this live right now and you can't do this practice like full on, is listen to it, but then come back to it so you can do it again. So today's practice, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of set up our own personal rating scale. So on the ground, you can either, if you have this available, is create pieces of paper that have like a 1 on them, a 2, a 3, all the way up to 10. So you have on the floor a line of numbers going from 1 to 10. If you don't have these pieces of paper ready, because I know I just told you an hour ago about it in our intro email, if you don't have these pieces of paper ready, that's okay. You can just kind of start on one end being the 1 and on one end of the room be the 10. We're just going to move around to the different parts of the rating scale. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stand up. And if you can't stand up right now, you can visualize this practice. So that's the improvisation. And remember, we talked about yesterday, our mind actually can't tell the difference between real or imagined events. So it's still super powerful to do it in a visualized way. And so once you've got, I'm going to give you a minute for those of you, it's hard for me to tell who's doing the paper and who's not, but I'll just hold on here for about 30 seconds to give some people some time to set up if you are going to do the full thing with the paper and the rating scale on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to play with what does it actually feel like to create a new energetic blueprint for playing full out around your 90-day income challenge. So you set your income challenge on day 3. We talked about how to bring it to life in terms of actions yesterday in a very grounded, practical way. And now we're going to bake all of that. We're going to put it in the oven and we're going to actually create a new energetic blueprint for what it means to play full out at that 10. So we're going to start by going to the 1 on your rating scale. So if you can move to the 1, I want you to go actually stand on top of that 1. And if you can't move right now, just visualize going over to the 1 in your rating scale. And I want you to start to just feel into your body what it would feel like 90 days from now. And in this moment, if you were playing at a 1. So a 1 is like, a 10 is playing full out. A 1 is like not barely showing up, like not even showing up. How does that feel in your body? And you don't have to write this down right now. This is a fully somatic experience. So just feel it. You know, it might be uncomfortable, but is it contracted? How do you hold your body? Are your shoulders slumped? Do you feel small? What's going on for you? Yeah, it relates to death. Yeah, it's not good, right? It's like when we know we want something, but we're not willing to show up for it, does not feel good. So I'm not going to make you hang out here all that much longer. I'm going to get you to move up to the 5 now. So go to the middle of your rating scale. And this is where, you're showing up, but you've got more. You're showing up, you're in action, but it might be inconsistent. You might not actually be putting yourself out there. You might not actually be taking the risks. You've got more in you. What does it feel like at a 5? How is that different from the 1? But where do you feel it in your body? How are you holding yourself when you're at a 5? What are the thoughts and beliefs you have about yourself when you play at a 5? Because we've all been there at some point or the other with something or the other, where we say we want something, but we don't truly show up for it. So again, I'm not going to make you hang out here for that long, but I want you to feel it because we're changing our energetic blueprint in this moment. We're ascending on a cellular level. We're getting a feeling for what it's like to play at these different set points. So now I'm going to get you to move to the 10. Yeah, Cherie is not committed, second guessing, totally. So find yourself at that 10 and start to notice in your body. Remember, our mind can play tricks on us, but our body doesn't lie. So tune into the wisdom of your body and see what comes up for you. How do you feel at a 10? How are you standing? What's your body language like, your posture? What are the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you have about yourself at a 10? Now, if there's stuff coming up for you at the 10 that's surprising, that's not all positive. I had someone do this exercise once and they're like, a 10 actually makes me feel anxious because I've burnt myself out before playing so full out. That's okay. Hold that for now. We're gonna rewire that if anything like that's coming up for you. Christy, a 10 feels like super tall. Yeah, like we're giants, right? We're giants when we're playing at a 10. I'm 5'3" and I feel like a giant when I'm playing at a 10. So take this all in. Cherie's empowered, free, and flow. Yeah. Let this sink in at that cellular level. Embody it. Let it expand out. If you're feeling it, locate where it feels most strong in your body. Might be in your chest, in your gut. These are our kind of core energy centers. Might be in your kind of forehead, third eye area. Locate where it's most strong, the sensation, and allow it to spread and expand until you feel it at the tips of your fingers, in your toes. Alive, free, open, Michelle. Beautiful. You'll feel that everywhere. Release that like water, free, flowing, peaceful, balanced, connected, aligned. Heart broke through and uplifted my being. Yeah, this is what it's like to play full out. This is what it's like to actually say yes and go all in. This is what it's like to bet on you and your soul work. So now I want you to get really honest with yourself. This is like the moment of truth. Now that you have a 10 out of 10 set point for what playing full out looks like, where are you currently playing when it comes to your 90-day income challenge and your goals? So we set them yesterday, we got into action, but sometimes there can be some dissonance between what we say we want and how we're actually showing up, how we're willing to show up, what those internal thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and ideas are around what it looks like to fully show up. So find your spot on the spectrum, anywhere from a 1 to a 10, if you were to get truly honest with yourself around where you're currently playing. Yeah, I love your honesty there, Megan. A 10, that's, an 8. An 8 is not bad, but it's not playing full out. So go to the number that you feel like you're currently playing at and do the same somatic check-in. How does it feel to play at an 8? And if you are playing at that 10, beautiful, you get to stay there. Michelle at an 8. Yeah, so go to that spot and breathe into that. And just notice what the difference is between where you're currently playing and what a 10 feels like. So I love that Relitza brought up that it's a spectrum, 5 to 8, depending on the week. I bounce between them. So this isn't about being perfect. This isn't about always playing at the 10. This is about having an energetic set point that we know what it feels like to play at a 10, so we can tune in and see where are we at in relationship to the 10. Because the more times we get into the 10, embodying that 10, the more that becomes the energetic set point for us. So Monica, I'm about a 6 because I'm so overwhelmed with work. An 8 feels safe. Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, Jessica. An 8 feels safe and 10 is exciting, but it's also scary. So these are the thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and ideas that come up when we go all in on what it is that we say that we really want. Because it's one thing to say we really want it, but when rubber meets the road and we actually have to put the thing out there, when we have to show up and do, someone said they're going to do their training videos, Someone said they're going to launch their soul work offer into the world yesterday. Someone said they're going to create their website. Holy shit. Those are vulnerable, big moves. So it's going to take something to be able to say, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to play full out while I'm doing that. I'm going to stretch myself beyond my comfort zone, which is the 5 or the 8 or where my current set point is. I'm going to create a new energetic blueprint for myself in this moment and play full out at the 10. Yeah, Michelle agreeing 8 feels totally safe. 6 to 7, I want it and need not to let myself get in the way or overthink. Know that I need to get into action. Yes, Charisse. Yeah, so Christy just says, I'm going to share this one. So before she was sitting at a 5, it was comfortable, but now I'm excited to be at a 10. And every time I get in these live calls, I step into a 10. So that's the power of showing up for things like this, to being in community with things like this, for not only saying that you want it, but actually taking the action around that. Yeah, so Ankita just says, it's weird how even a 6 feels so comfortable and a 10 feels like incredibly high vibration in my body. So this is all about creating a new set point. This is about operating soul first. On day 1, I talked about putting soul in the driver's seat and ego in the back seat. So when we're working from a place of feeling safe and comfortable, it's not a bad thing. It's just our ego keeping us safe. And that's its job, right? Our ego's job is to keep us safe. And so no wonder when we are fearful of how we're going to look, if it's going to fail, if we're going to be embarrassed, if we can really do it, that's just our ego driving instead of being in the back seat. And it's okay for our ego to be there. Our ego actually serves a really powerful purpose, but not when it drives. We need soul to drive in order to create a business and a thriving business out of our soul work. So I want to get you all to go back to a 10 right now. So go back to that 10. We're going to take a few moments here. The more often we come back into noticing where we are, no judgment around it. If we start judging ourselves for being at a 5 and beating ourselves up for that, that actually goes against what we're doing here. It actually creates more dissonance than alignment. So we just want to notice with no judgment. And we want to come back to, okay, what would it feel like to play full out here? When you have a decision to make around what you want to do, when you fear about saying yes to something, when you fear about going all in, you can come back to this 10 set point and say, what would a 10 feel like right now? What would I do from the place of a 10? So go back to your 10 and stand or sit if you're sitting, rooted powerfully in this 10. You can even imagine, if it's helpful for you, like you have cords going down from your body, from like your root chakra, all the way down into the earth, into the core of the earth, wrapping around the core of the earth. So you're so rooted and so powerful in this 10. And you feel that you're held in this 10. You're not here on your own. When you play full out, you are guided. You are held. Allow the feeling of the 10 to really get into every core cell, every part of your body, spreading out from where you feel it the strongest into your fingers and your toes. Start to notice how it shows up for you, again, in your body language, but also in your face. Are you smiling? Are you lighter? Are you more energized? This isn't about figuring out the how. This is about knowing what it feels like to be here, to go all in on you and your goals. So wherever you are, if you're standing up now, you can find a seat, back down, and in your workbook, there's a few reflection questions that I'm going to take you through. So open up your workbook for day 5. If you don't happen to have the workbook, that's okay. You can just answer the prompts to these questions. And if you feel like sharing them in the chat as well, it's always nice to share it outside of your experience. So that experience, that was more of an inner experience, but this you can totally share in the chat box. So the first question is, what actions would you take next if you were playing full out at that 10? So embody that 10 as you're writing this. If you were to sit in that space, what actions would you take next? What would you say yes to? This next question I'm going to ask you is just as important. It's so, and actually, yesterday I was sharing about Scattered Sally. I did a little Instagram story, and Scattered Sally is the most popular archetype that people say that they resonated with around what gets in the way of your goals. So the next question is, what would you say no to if you were playing full out at that 10? And what you say no to is just as important as what you say yes to. In fact, sometimes it can be more important, especially if you resonate with that archetype. So if you are going to go all in, if you're playing full out at a 10 around your 90-day goals, around your soul work, what is it that you have to say no to in order to make that happen? Sometimes this can be hard, right? It's not always easy to say no to the things that we actually want to do, or that we have guilt around doing, or that we feel like we're going to let other people down if we say no to it. But if you were playing full out at that 10, what would you say no to? So let's hear in the chat box from a few of you. What would you say no to? Because it's one thing to hold that yourself, and then there's another thing to actually say it out loud. Yeah, so Monica, my full-time job, or sorry, that's not Monica, that's Rolitza, 0.8 full-time job. So yeah, often we have commitments that we might have to reprioritize. And often it doesn't have to be all or none, but we want to look at what's getting in the way of us playing full out here. And is it possible to reprioritize them in order to commit more to what it is that we say we really want, while being strategic, right? And we don't want to, we want to be strategic around it. Helen, I love this one, saying no to selling myself short. Yeah, so that's an inner thing, right? That's when we talked about inner barriers and external barriers yesterday. Selling myself short is an inner barrier. So just saying no more to that. And when you see yourself doing that, it's not happening, right? And so when we understand that we actually are in choice around that, all we have to do is see it. We have to see these patterns in order to do something with them. And then once we see them, we can free them. Okay, and Monica, the no is hard. I have a really valued client who keeps giving me small projects with unrealistic timelines. It's not about the money. It's so stressful and time consuming. I don't want to lose him as a client, but I know he has larger projects coming up, and those are the ones I want to work on. Yeah, interesting, right? So yes, play with that. Well, I'm not going to get into it right now, but look at what it's costing you now to say yes. What is the cost? And we're always doing cost benefit analyses. And if the cost benefit analysis comes out that it makes sense right now, then go for it. But if the cost is too high, if it's holding you back from doing the things that you really want, then you really want to look at that. Cherie is saying no to distraction, self-doubt, second-guessing, perfectionism. Oh, perfectionism is like the killer of creativity, the killer of just taking action. So good for you just to say no. When you see it coming up, it's like, And Kita, say no to clients who aren't a good fit, and I would stop trying to do it all for me right now. Yes. So one thing I want to say about that around saying no to clients that aren't a good fit, think about it this way, is our clients deserve someone who is the perfect fit for them. So if you're not doing it for you, do it for them. Is our clients deserve to have someone who is the perfect fit for them, who can hold them through their pains and problems, who can show up in the best way possible for them. And we do have perfect fit clients for us. So when we say no to the ones that are not perfect fit, we create space for the ones that are. So it's a win-win. It just takes us seeing it, like Ankita, you just saw it and you claimed it and you named it, sees you seeing it, and then just choosing to say no to it. I'd say my full-time job as well. Yeah. That's Michelle. Christy, if it were my full 10, I'd go full new program mode, get surveys out, plan a boot camp, say no to one-on-one clients. But my energy will be too trained and could be better served in a program. Yeah, great. So it's like, what would actually playing full out look like? It would be like, what would be the investment? And this is when we talked about naive Nancy yesterday. So naive Nancy out of the archetype was the one who didn't really assess what it was going to take to go there. If you're playing full out, it's going to take something, right? It's like when Christy just says, I'm going to get surveys out, I'm going to plan a boot camp, I'm going to say no to one-on-one clients. That is going to take something. So are you ready for that journey? And you want to really assess that and do the assessment. Can I do that? Do I have the time, capacity, energy, money to be able to invest in that way? And if the answer is no, how do I get that? So that's where the 90-day blueprint, the goal setting blueprint that we did yesterday comes in, is like chunk it down so you can get there. Okay, this is so good, everyone. Yeah, higher. Okay, good. So it's what I'm seeing, some of the things come in here is great. It's like, what would it take to play full out? So yesterday we used that goal setting blueprint, and you might want to go back to that and look at, does anything shift in terms of the action items now that you really know what playing full out looks like? And are you committed to playing full out? Now, this little container, this beautiful container that we've created together, is coming to an end. We're in our home stretch here, and it's sad and bittersweet. And you might be there thinking, like I know I am, is like, I don't want this to end. What's next? Where do I go from here? And the way that I see it is there's three kind of camps that people will likely be in at this point in our time together. So the first camp is that you have this like deep desire, this deep call from your soul after hearing me talk about Activate yesterday, after being with me this week and seeing my coaching style around, soul meets strategy. You might know that Activate is the thing that you need in order to help you to get to your next level. If that is you, I want to welcome you with open arms into the program. It is going to be incredible, and we can create your next 90 days, your next 6 months together to get that soul work offer out into the world. So if you're in that, like, hell yes, I know this is for me, I'm fully aligned, let's do this, just send me a DM or an email. You don't have to go through the application process on the website. If you don't want to, you can just reach out directly to me. And know that if you say yes to this by the end of the weekend, there's a pretty sweet early bird bonus around a workshop with me called the Focus Lab, where we'll get really focused on what you need to be spending your time on in the Activate container to get the most out of the program. So if you resonate with that scattered Sally archetype, we're going to help you focus in on what is the offer, what is the thing that will get you where you want to go. So if that's you, as I said, just shoot me a DM, send me an email. You might not be there though yet. You might be in the second camp, which is, it sounds interesting. I kind of feel like that would be good for me, but you're having some stuff come up around it. The stuff that might come up around it, things that I hear most often are, I don't have enough time. I don't know if this is the right time for me. I don't know if I can make the investment in the program, or I don't know if this is even the right program for me. So as I said yesterday, when you're investing in yourself and in your business, it's totally normal for these types of things to come up. But what I don't want you to do, and what I'm so committed to, is not having you hang out in the kind of like ambiguity, the like in between. So what I want to offer you, if you are in the second camp, is a call with me. And I hope you get by this point, there will be zero pressure. I am not about pushing people into something that is not for them. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. But what I do want to do is help you make an empowered yes or no, because that is what being a soulful CEO is all about. It's around having the skills, having the ability to say, yes, this is for me, or no, this isn't, and be really empowered in your choice around that. So what we can do if you're in the second camp is just set up a call with me, send me a DM, send me an email, book a call through the website, however you want to get in touch with me. And we will have a chat, and I'll just create space for you and coach you through whether this is the right thing for you or not, with absolutely zero agenda on my side. So that's the second camp, second offer. The third camp you might be in is you've got everything you need, right? You came here for the 5 days, you've played full out, you've got the tools. And if you're in that camp, I say run with it. And if you get stuck anywhere along the way, or you need support, or just things come up for you where you're like, oh, I'm not okay doing this on my own, you know where I am now. You can reach out to me and I will be here, and we will figure out a way to get you support so you can bring your soul work into the world. Because that is my number one commitment, is that if you're here, if you're watching this on day 5, I know that you've got something screaming inside of you that needs to be brought out into the world. And I want to help you get there by creating a thriving business around that. So whatever camp you're in is totally okay with me. And just know that I'm championing you and your vision and your soul work in the world from here on out. So if you still have questions, you can either reach out to me in that one-on-one format, and you can ask them for me that way. I'm also going to hang out a little bit later on the call today and just answer some frequently asked questions that have either already come in or that just get asked a lot about the program. And you can put your own questions in the chat right now, and I'll make sure to get to them. So we'll answer questions and things like that, but I want to make sure we close this container really powerfully. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to announce the grand prize giveaway. This brings me so much joy to do this. And as I said last night, I'm sitting there and I have all of these sticky notes in this big bowl, and I'm like, I got aligned, right? And I asked the universe, and I was like, I want this person, whoever wins this prize, to be the person who it's meant to be. And that's why I did it in the draw format, because I totally believe in that kind of alignment. And when I drew the name, it was just like totally aligned, right? Because the person who won this prize was one of the people that had the most ballots in the thing. So there was a few people that had 8 ballots in the thing because they showed up every single day. They did the homework. They really showed up for it. And this person was one of those people. So it just shows there's part luck and alignment, and then there's part showing up and doing the work. So I will not wait any longer. The person who won the grand prize giveaway of a full ride scholarship to Activate, which is a $4,500 value, is Shannon Lorenz. So Shannon, huge congratulations to you. I will be in touch with you to set all of that up and make sure that this is the right program for you, because obviously, you might have won and the universe might have conspired in your favor, but this may not be the thing for you. So we're going to make sure that it is. And if it is, you are in for June's program. So congratulations, Shannon. Yeah, let's celebrate Shannon for sure. So beautiful. I love the container that we've created. How it's so supportive here. You are all amazing. Okay, the next thing that I've got one more bonus prize, because I feel like Oprah right now. I'm just like giving away prizes, and it's the best. And the final prize that I'm going to give away is for those of you that feel inspired and compelled to do a video testimonial around your experience in this boot camp. I would love to capture your key takeaways. I would love for you to create, it can be, the shortest video, 15 seconds up to a minute kind of thing, video of what you got from this program, what your experience was, your key takeaways, anything that you feel inspired to share. And you can either post it in our group forum, so you can do the video there in the group forum, or you can find me over on Instagram, where I do most of my work. I share a lot of content and stuff. That's the platform I use the most. And my handle is at Kristen Constable. So just like my name is spelt in the little video thing here. There's no space though in between it. It's just at Kristen Constable. And tag me in the videos, just so if you're on Instagram, share it in your stories and tag me in the videos. Make sure you tag me in every single one so that I can reshare them and save them as well. And so let's talk about what you get if you do this. So I'll do another prize draw. And for everybody who does a video by the end of this weekend, you'll get entered into a draw to get an hour of my time, where it is like all you. So you can ask me any questions you have around your business, around your soulful strategy that you created. If you want to do some coaching around some inner work, maybe there's some limiting beliefs that are coming up for you, we can totally do that. So you get an hour of my undivided attention and to support you in whatever is coming up for you. So I would love to see as many videos come through as possible. And I will be in touch with the person who wins that prize. I'll do the draw on Sunday evening. So you have until Sunday evening to get that video out. Okay, so here we are, our final few minutes together. So I want to do a little visualization exercise with you to send you off into the world, and knowing that so many of you I will have the opportunity to connect with, and some of you I may not connect with again, and that's okay. So what I want you to do is take a moment to close your eyes if it's safe to do so, and just start connecting to your breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. And I want to have you envision yourself 3 months from now, 90 days from now. Could be in your office, in your home, in your garden, wherever it is that you see yourself in your happy place. And start to bring to life what's possible for you and your business when you commit to your soul work and showing up in action around it. What's been created in your life? How do you feel? See how possible it really is when you get into alignment, when you tune into your soul's deepest desires. You commit to sticking to a strategy and being in action. What's the ripple effect you're creating from this simple but profound choice? Take it all in and know that this is waiting for you in a short 90 days from now. 90 days can go by like a blink of an eye. So how are you going to choose to show up? How are you going to choose to be present for this precious time that you've got? So in your own time, come out of your visualization and just share, like Ralitza started here. What's possible for you and your business from here? What's possible for you and your business from here? Share that in the chat box as we do our final exercise together. Sharing your energy and your insights is so powerful. It really does contribute to the collective. So, as these are starting to come through, again, I just want to celebrate you and I want to thank you for spending the last 5 days here with me in this beautiful container. I couldn't have imagined it being any more special than it was. And that was because each of you showed up, you did the work. Even if you're watching the replay and taking part in the community in the Facebook group, your energy, what you bring adds to the magic that's created. If you weren't here, it would have been a totally different experience. So thank you for that. And let's just read some of these things that are coming through. So abundance, setting boundaries and taking no. What's possible for Ankita? Calm, confidence, knowing it's already here. What's possible for Helen? Open, open and connected, abundance and full of love. What's possible from here? I'm sitting in a beach in Hawaii, enrolling people into the career accelerator. So excited for the next 90 days. I love that. Oh, so good. So I'm going to stay on for a few minutes after now, and I'm just going to share some of the frequently asked questions that come up around Activate. If you have any of your own questions around Activate, please do share those in the chat box, and I'll make sure to answer them. So if you're one of those people that are like, I need to know all the details, and all of these details are on the website as well, but some of you are like wanting to know the details, I'm going to share the details. Monica, balance, joy, calm. But if you're good and you've gotten everything that you need, you can log off now and you can end the video now, and you can take this beautiful energy that we've created in the session today and take it into, if you're with me in BC, into our long weekend, and then if you're somewhere else, into your weekend. Okay, have a beautiful weekend, everybody. And I'm going to start to answer some of the questions that are coming in here. So in terms of start and end dates, we're going to start June 9th, and this goes until November 17th. So every Wednesday we connect for a group call, and the group call goes from 12 till 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. So as I said yesterday, you can watch the replays if you can't make all of them. 6 months is a long container, so there's going to be a few that you can't make, but obviously if you're there in person, that's better. Weekly time commitment. So that's one of the things that a lot of people are like, how much time is this going to take? So if you budget for around 3 to 4 hours per week, that will give you enough time to do all of the integration practices, the guest teacher trainings, the like any other of the other stuff in terms of the online videos and our live group calls as well. Okay, I'm just gonna take that off of there, and let's see, there's a couple of questions. Okay, yeah, around pricing. So the pricing is $750 US every month for 6 months. So it's a total of $4,500 US for the entire thing. If you want one-on-one support added in there, so some people are like, I want really specific things out of this program that can't be handled in the group container, you can add on one-on-one support to the package for $2,500 US for the entire thing. And you get one-on-one coaching with me every single month. And you have unlimited access to me through Voxer voice note and email throughout the entirety of the program. So it's like, really, I'm in your back pocket as your personal business coach as we go through that program with the one-on-one. Ankita, you asked a great question. Does it matter what phase of business someone is in for them to benefit from this program? So great question. Sometimes people say like, I don't have a business yet. Is this program going to work for me? Or I have a thriving business and but I want to do something a little bit different. Is this program going to work for me? You get to plug in your business strategy. So it doesn't matter where you're at in terms of your phase of business. But what it does, where you do have to be is you have to be ready to be in action, because by the end of the 6-month container, the purpose of this accelerator is that you have a business or an offer to be able to actually sell. And so if you're not really ready to do that yet, if you're still in the ideation phase and you're not ready to move yourself through, like obviously if you're in ideation, 6 months, you're going to have to move yourself through that to the end of the program. So you want to make sure that you're in action. I've got a couple of ladies in the current program, they had thriving businesses already. They were doing consulting. So they had thriving 6-figure businesses already, but they wanted to refine and repivot their businesses so that they were doing more of their soul work. So that works for that level as well. So yes, you can totally plug in wherever you're at. And for Christy, can the one-on-one be added in payments? Yes, absolutely. So just for clarity, I did that. But if you add the one-on-one, it'll be put in the payment plan. What I will say with the payment plans too is, if money is the thing that's getting in your way, I'm not the kind of coach who's going to be like, leverage yourself to the nines to make this happen. But what I will do is I will work with you to create a payment plan that works for you. So the payment plan is the 6-month payment plan, is the kind of like the structured one, the one that's there. But if you need some support with that, if you need it to be spread out in a different way, we can totally make that happen. So just reach out to me. If the money piece is the piece that's there, we can work through that, come up with some creative solutions to make sure that you can say yes to you and your soul work if you want to. Okay, let's see what other questions are in there. Okay, so this is one of the questions that comes up often, is the group format. How is it going to work? Because some people, the group, most people who are here are probably okay with group, but how is the group program going to work? So one of my commitments around this program is for it to not turn into this like big box program where there's hundreds of people in it. Because what I knew I wanted it when I was at this stage of the business where this program is kind of niched for, is I wanted it to be intimate enough that I created a community around me. So the large group is going to be pretty small. It's not going to be this huge 100-person thing. But if you're not super comfortable in the large group format, know that you get to participate at any level that you want. You will not be forced to share in front of the group or get coaching in front of the group. It's my commitment to really create a safe and inclusive environment for everybody. And what my experience is even the people who are most nervous about the group format, by the end of the 6 months, they are loving it and they feel so held and so supported. So know that the group dynamic is there, and I'm like so convinced that it is a positive for everybody. And even if you're more on that like private introverted end of the spectrum. And Susanna, is the group call on Zoom and is it interactive? Yes. So it's not in this format where it's just like, in the chat. It's a Zoom call, and the sessions are very experiential. So essentially the group calls, what we do on them is we deepen the work that you'll be doing on your own through the video training modules. So every week on the Thursday, you'll have a video training module released to you. They're about anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. You'll have integration practices to do from that. And then in our live group call, you can think about it as an opportunity for you to deepen that work, ask any questions, get coaching, get peer feedback, do some I use breakout rooms a lot in the Zoom calls. So you will have an opportunity to, really workshop the things. It's not going to be just a passive experience. And Ankita, what is the usual size of the group? So it ranges no more than 20 people in the group. And usually it's around like anywhere, I would say on average, I would say that this group is probably going to be around like a dozen people. It can be anywhere in between. I'll let you know as soon as we start getting signups for it. But yeah, it's anywhere between that like 12 and 20. Great questions. If anyone has any other questions, let me know. I think I've answered all of the frequently asked ones. So as I said, the early bird bonus is available until this Sunday. So if you are interested, it is like a sweet bonus that you may as well take advantage of if you've got that fire in your belly and you're saying like, yes, this is for me. So get in touch with me, send me an email, a DM, do the application form through the website, however you want to do it. And as long as, even if we don't talk, like we're not able to connect before the weekend, if we just have some conversations through DMs, you'll get the bonus, and then you can sign up for it, if we don't have a chance to talk until Monday. But my calendar is quite free this weekend. I've kept it open on purpose so that I can have as many conversations with all of you as possible. So thank you so much. There's a bunch of you still on here. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you do have. I've had the best time this week, and I'm just going to be on such a high all weekend, taking all of this juice in. So appreciate you all being here. And I'm going to log off. If there's any final questions, I'll wait like 30 seconds. Okay, here. How do we schedule a clarity call during the weekend? So if you go to the website, you can book your application, and I'll send you a calendar link through there. You can also just send me an email and I'll send you the calendar link, or you can send me a DM through Facebook or Instagram and I'll send you the scheduling link. So it's just a calendar link that you need to book the call, and I'll get that in for you right away. Okay. Great question. There's usually a little bit of a time lag on the questions. Yesterday, I realized that I was just logging off, and then a question came in. I was like, oh, damn, I want to answer that, but I'd already logged off. So I'll just wait another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to shut this down. Thanks, Ankita. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you share in the world. Your why is so powerful. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.